And I'm getting that name right. Cashel?
Cash like money, cash L.
Cashel.
Yeah.
Cash. Okay. Got it. All right. So Cashel comes from New York City. A native New Yorker, began her artistic endeavors successfully as a child actor. SAG and AFTRA established in 1987. Wow. Alongside her pursuits, she has become a dancer, performance artist, theater and dance expression, and in 2016 achieved a Master's of Science in the Creative Arts Therapy field as a dance movement psychotherapist from Pratt Institute. So welcome, Michelle. And her piece is entitled #TheBlackGirl. Um, and I love that, some of them, these pieces obviously have kind of focused on not only the Black experience, but the Black female experience and what that is like, and sharing that and getting that voice out there. So please share with us a little bit of what your inspirations are and what brought you to this piece.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be a part of this, as so many others have stated before. Writing is something that has really been a place where I can find my truth and some solace at the same time. And I think that when I started in the business of television and commercials as a small child, I was really aware that what I looked like was less desired than what I could do or what my personality brought. Mm-hmm. And that other children that were around me that were lighter complected or their hair didn't take as long to comb were sought after, even if their talent was less than mine. I think I was about 5 or 6, and it really landed for me. Wow. Yeah. That was a part of my reality. And when I wrote this piece, I think that I was very sad and very vulnerable and very okay with those emotions, but not necessarily finding places in the world where that could be validated for me. And this piece is really an ode to my own self-compassion, for understanding the sense of loneliness and emptiness and sadness that can go along with being abused, because racism is abuse. Mm-hmm. And it has so many different touch points and expressions. The piece provided me a sense of self-validation. It provided me a space for my own pain to be spoken out of my mouth, to be written down on paper. And something interesting that happened today as a dancer, of course, I had to record this piece and dance to it. And I did so and posted it on YouTube. So I'll share the link if anybody wants to hear it, see it in motion. Mm-hmm. But as I was reading it today, I realized that I have a typo in there. It should say Sarah Bartman, not Sandra Bartman. And I immediately felt so small, so sunken, because I know who Sarah Bartman is. But then I realized when I was writing, and I think back to the time, and I think back to how new it is for me as this Black woman in America to have space to speak about my experience, that in those moments, I am vulnerable, I'm nervous, mm-hmm. I make mistakes, and I'm fragile. And so that's reflected in the work itself. Mm-hmm. Lastly, this piece is my own sense of self-inspiration and self-love to say that although the parts of me that are a part of so many other Black women and Black girls that are celebrated, but really enacted as envy through hate, that I can celebrate those things and create art with them and celebrate me. And celebrating me is celebrating her and celebrating she.
Beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, the one part of the piece that struck out to me when you wrote, "This pain isn't new. I don't matter." You know, the title of the piece I found whimsical. #TheBlackGirl, and so it kind of set me up for something. I wouldn't say lighthearted, but not punching, which is what this piece is. And so it's kind of it is very strong, and it obviously comes from the heart. And well, thank you for sharing that, because that's not easy to bring out something so personal and so beautiful. That's great.
I think there's themes that you talk about in there that are resonant not only for Black women, but as we see Asian women, and becomes the fabric of our society because it's a product of the white gaze. You know, Black women are sexualized, you know, fetishized, right? Everything but personalized and accepted. You know, just not even put on pedestals, just put in closets with, you know, break glass for use. I just keep coming back to the same thing. These things have got to be talked about and put out there, because all too often it is swept under the rug. It is ignored. And, you know, I'm out here telling the story of a Black man dealing with things. And I get the question, well, what's the difference between what you experience and what Black women experience? And I have to say, well, Black women seem to have a double whammy, you know. They're dealing with everything I'm dealing with. It's like Ginger Rogers talking about her and Fred Astaire. I'm doing everything he's doing, but I'm doing it in heels and going backwards, you know. So it's like there's a lot more layers that have to be looked at and considered and you know, speak. I mean, my brother said it earlier. Stories about what Black women experience in this continuum, Sandra Bland, you know, have to be, you know, cataloged and put out here in the world. And you've done so eloquently and so passionately and so completely, I have to say, you know, that, you know, you covered all the bases, darling. That's a powerful ass piece. It's a powerful piece.
It is.
Thank you so much. If I could just say one more thing. When I also think of a lot of the sourcing of that pain, it has come from my own experience with Black men who I love so much. And I think that in our stereotypical expression that we get to experience here in America as Black people, it doesn't allow for us to have the authenticity of who we are. And authentically, I'm a sensitive Black woman, and I want to be with a sensitive Black man who can embrace that. And in my experiences in the past, it has been a source of me being punished instead of celebrated. And I think the piece wanted me to talk about that. If anyone gets a chance to visit the virtual performance that I did, I am exposing my body and my shape and my skin and my curves. And I want to do that in my joy because God gave it to me and I love it. And lastly, the hashtag piece, you know, I'm so exhausted with how many of us have become hashtags. And I think that that title was really about, in so many ways, we see the names and we say their names, but we see nothing at the same time. It could just say hashtag the boy or hashtag the girl. And that also encapsulates a lot of the feeling that was there. So thank you both so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the minimalization, you know, hashtag just makes it so common, and it's now beneath our notice because it's like Rice Krispies, right? Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Well, and I have to say that, you know, in Leland's